Well, we're over halfway through the session. We in the middle of the night, we get the Senate and the House proposals. As per usual, they're not aligned with each other, but they never really are. They're close enough. But what the thing for me that jumped out, and I'll let you kind of weigh in on this, was how much of the DeSantis wish list did not get funded in either chamber. And it's not like there's one chamber where they gave DeSantis everything he wanted, and the other one's like, no, we're not doing it. Both of them basically were like, we like your recommendations, Governor.
No thanks.
We're not doing it. I mean, it's from teacher pay raises, schools of hope, job growth grants, the emergency fund, which has been very controversial.
Yeah, I was going to dig into that.
I'll let you go have some fun with that.
And I'm glad you brought that up because as you, sort of aligning with his approval rating in the state, Governor DeSantis is not somebody who I think our legislature feels like they need to pander to at this point, or that they need to support. Yeah.
It is a huge departure from especially post-COVID when if he said jump, there were unlimited number of people in Tallahassee saying, sir, how high, sir?
Sir, how high, sir?
Yes.
Exclamation point. So let's talk about the emergency fund, essentially. The formal term, Florida Emergency Preparedness and Response Fund, that expires, what's today, the 18th? So 2 days, I think, on Friday.
Yeah.
They've got to figure out, are they going to keep, they being the legislature, are they going to keep funding it, or are they going to do away with it? And the big hang up here is the fact that Governor Ron DeSantis has used a lot of this money, more than anybody I think ever thought, for ICE immigration enforcement. And this is meant to be really used for natural disasters, replenishing things when, our backs are against the wall. And so they're looking at this fund and they're going, how much power do we want to give the governor, the future governor, to be able to use this money that is meant to rebuild roads and repave highways or whatever it may be if a natural disaster should strike?
And it's also, too, we haven't gotten repaid by the feds. Alligator, Alcatraz, Deportation Depot, all of
that
these
was FEMA,
things
right?
All of these things that we were told, the feds will reimburse the state. We haven't gotten reimbursed. Meanwhile, there's this fund out there, and you've already articulated this well, a fund that is designed for emergencies. And yes, we haven't had a lot of hurricanes in the last couple of years, knock on wood.
But when they come.
But that's what this fund is there for. And so you're seeing the legislature, one, look at this and say, okay, are we going to fund it? And two, even if we do we put some guardrails on it so that the next governor or DeSantis with the time that he has remaining in the governor's mansion can't just use it willy-nilly. They have to go through certain channels. And I will say this, from a good governance standpoint, it is refreshing to see the legislative body reassert itself.
Right.
Look at D.C. and look what Congress has become. It has become, 435 people who want to get cable news hits and the president issuing executive orders. Here you have a legislative body, Article 1, asserting itself, saying we have agency, we call the shots, not the Article 2 branch. And I think that is a little bit refreshing. The other thing in there, which is jotted down a couple of notes on this one because this is the fiscal oversight, which everyone got really excited about when Elon Musk is, dancing around on stage with chainsaws and doging. And, while the federal
doging. Is that a verb now?
I guess so.
I like that. You heard it here first.
But as he's doing that, and the results on the federal doging have been mixed at best. You have seen the newly appointed CFO, Blazing Golia, traveling the state, doing his Doge. And now you're saying, the legislature say, you know what, we're good with fiscal oversight, but we're going to have it happen out of our...
Department of Government Efficiency, just so we can make sure you guys are clear. Doge is not the Bitcoin. It's not the cryptocurrency, not to be confused with that. But it's interesting. We have our state CFO, who we actually did our own reporting on. I don't know if you want to dig into that and sort of his lackluster response in terms of where's your money going. But the legislature is saying, we want to do it ourselves.
And this is where they've got about $113 billion in the budget out there. And so they're looking out and they're saying, okay, we can put about $53 million, but we're going to have this fiscal oversight be within the legislative branch, not within the CFO. And the CFO is a constitutional officer. He's elected statewide, so that would answer to all the voters. But the legislature is saying, no, this is something we want under our purview. And again, it is a bit of you're seeing the tension.
It's like a reclamation. Florida legislature is saying, hey, we have an opportunity here with the shift of power, whether it's, somebody who is just like Ron DeSantis or somebody not like Ron DeSantis, to at least set a precedent that in the next term, it is not going to be you decide how everything goes. Like, we want to make sure, we're still here. Yeah. We're a governing body, right? Like, we have to make things make sense. And a lot of that has to do with how money is spent.
And I think that this may be a course correction from the legislature after, because Jeb Bush did not really rule with an iron fist. We did see a consolidation of power within the governor's office under Jeb's tenure. Rick Scott, same thing. He had his priorities, but again, did not rule with an iron fist. When you got to DeSantis, and especially post-COVID, you saw him assert himself in many ways. Right. And now you're seeing the legislature raise its hand and say, you know what? We're going to take back some of the authority we have handed off to you, and we're going to maybe start calling some of the shots.
So I want to just dig into a little bit about what they would have. So this $53.37 million office would operate under legislative control with authority to audit, investigate, and subpoena state and local entities. So accountability, public integrity, they want it all. They're saying, no, we're not letting one man from the top down make decisions. We want to make sure that our Florida residents, constituents understand that we're taking a fine-tooth comb. We're going to be going through everything. There's going to be an extra layer in addition to the CFO. How did he feel about that?
Well, I'm sure he's not happy about it. And obviously he's running for the seat himself. So this is that tension you're starting to see between the legislative body and the cabinet offices. And again, we already have the Florida Auditor General. We have OPAGA, which handles a lot of the investigations for the legislature. We have auditing in place. This is just saying, once again, we want to keep this under our own branch.